Hello everyone, how are you all? Today we will be discussing about report writing. So let's start. First question that comes to our mind is what is a report? A report is a factual description of an event or an incident. It is written for a particular purpose and for a particular audience. So basically it is between an event and an incident. So what is this incident or an event? Let us discuss it. Events and incidents. Events are seminars, functions, and programs, whereas incidents are issues, calamities, or accidents, etc. There are various types of reports we have now. Um, it can be inquiry report, action taken report, police report, or report of a meeting, but these types of reports are not included in our exams. So uh, what are the types of reports which we use in our school examinations? These are reports for school assembly, school magazine report, journal or newspaper report, social cause or awareness programs, etc. Now comes what are the features of a good report? It, like we have in speech and debate, it is clarity of thoughts and expression, accuracy of facts, unbiased views of the issue, record of a sequence of events, interpretation and evaluation of these events, discussion of the outcome, and at last it is connect with the audience. So these are the seven uh, features of a good report. But the most important of them is the thoughts and expressions. You must have a clarity about what you are going to write and how you are going to write it. Then never use vague facts or doubtful facts. Use accuracy while interpreting or providing facts. Third main point is unbiased views of the issue. You must not include your own biasness in report writing. Okay. Then what are the events that what is the event and the sequence of that event? You have to record it, assemble it in the sequence, proper serial order, and then present it and interpret it. Okay, what is the outcome of that report? That has to be mentioned there also. And last is there should be some sort of connection. The audience should feel as if you are presenting the report, and they must feel as if they are part of this event, or that whatever the incident or event that is being reported here. Now, language of the report. It should be simple and short, but it should convey the entire meaning of that event. It must not hide, or it must leave some sort of part of that event. Okay, so despite being short and simple sentences, they must be sufficient enough to provide the relevant information. The second is while writing the report, you need to use connectors to increase the length of sentence if it is required. Okay, if your short sentences are not sufficing to that requirement of the report, you can increase the length, but it is always better that you connect smaller sentences with the connectors and then increase the length of the sentences. The third is use passive voice. Passive voice is basically indirect sentences, or passive voices are used to emphasize something while you are reporting. If you want to emphasize something, you should use passive sentences. And while writing the report, you must include yourself as the third person. Who is the third person? Who is spectator only. So you have gone to attend some workshop, some seminar, some program, some camp, and you have seen the incidents there, and you are reporting those incidents only. You are not part of that incident or the part of that event or function. Okay, avoid jargons. What is jargon? Jargons are special letters for special terminology used for special things. Say, for example, in computer, RAM is different from what you go to a temple and call RAM. If you ask somebody there, if you ask the priest there, he will tell you that Ram is the Lord. Okay, Lord Ram, he will refer to Lord Ram only. Okay, but when you talk to RAM in front of some computer person or person related to computer, that person will understand that you are talking about RAM. Okay, so you must avoid using such sort of technical words which are limited to a particular group only. Important points to remember. What are the important points we should remember while writing the report? It should be factual, means it should be based on the facts. It should be, it should use small paragraphs. We will talk about it later. It must point out recommendations or suggestions. It must have an appropriate conclusion, and the word limit is 150 to 200 words. But for students, it would be better if they follow the instructions given in the question paper itself. Say, for example, if some question paper setter, if the examiner has asked you to write it in 200 words, you need to move up to 200. If the examiner wants you to write between 150 to 200, it would be better if you can write 160 or 70 words. Okay, so it is all based on what the examiner has wanted from you. Then next is format of report writing. It is very important to note down that the format should be clear. If the format is not followed properly, marks will be deducted. So these are the 4 parts of this format. Number 1, title. As we have already spoken in speech and debate writing, whenever you write any title or heading of any long composition, it should be very catchy. Catchy means attention seeker. If somebody sees it, reads it, the interest should be there. And at the same time, it should be brief also. It should be very small. It should be short. 1 word, okay, 2 words, or a group of 3-4 words to the maximum. You must not use the entire sentence as the heading. Okay, then the first part, the title, includes byline also. Byline means the writer's name or the designation, if there is any. Like while writing the report for your school magazine, okay, you could be asked to write the report as in the capacity of cultural secretary or cultural captain. So you have to write the designation also if it is given. Then place and date should also be mentioned. So this place, date, by means the writer's name, and the designation if there is any, including the title. These things form the format. So you will get 1 mark for it. We will discuss about the marking scheme later. Then second is introduction, means para number 1. While you are writing 3, 4 or 4, 5 lines, you can use this introduction to tell about what happened, who was the guest there, who was the main person there, and who has conducted or organized that event. Means such sort of questions can be answered in the introduction part. Then comes the main point. Main point includes detailed eyewitness account of the event or accident. As I told you in the previous slide, that you have to write the report in the 3rd person. Means you have witnessed the event or accident, so you will be explaining about whatever you saw there. Then next is, it should be written, the main point should be written in 2 paragraphs, paragraph number 2 and paragraph number 3. Okay, we will see it in the example that we will be discussing later. And then last comes the conclusion. how did the event or function close, what was the impact on the people, what were the suggestions. All these points should be included here in this point. The next is marking scheme, and that is, as we discussed, it forms question number 6 of CBSE question paper, and it comes in option with article writing. So question number 5 is speech and debate writing. You have an option to choose between the speech writing and article debate writing in question number 5. And in question number 6, you have the opportunity of choosing between either the article writing or report writing. Since we are discussing report writing today, we will focus only on this topic. So report writing consists of 10 marks. Format 1 mark, and as I told you just in the previous slide, that format includes title, the byline, the date and place. Okay, the next is content. Content carries 5 marks, and what does it include? It includes introduction, introductory paragraph, main points and the conclusion, right? So this content is basically focused on what are the things that you have included, what is the sequence, whether you have followed the sequence or not, whether you have reported all the incidents that have taken place or not. Such things are included in content. Then comes expression. Expression carries 4 marks, 2 marks for grammatical accuracy, appropriate words and spellings, and 2 marks for coherence. Coherence means systematic flow and relevance of ideas and style. Whatever you have included, whether they have been compiled in a sequence or not, this is judged in coherence. Okay, so this way the report consists of 10 marks, 1 mark for format, 5 marks for content and 4 marks for expression. Next is example of report writing. So the question in our example is, you are Amit or Amita, you visited a health checkup camp Health for All, organized by an NGO in a slum at Ambala. Write a report about the arrangements such as registration, checkup, tests that are carried out in the camp in about 150 to 200 words. This question has been taken from CBSE question paper 2019, set number 1/2/1. So it is part of set number 1. Okay, so the answer goes like this: the heading, the title, health checkup camp. Then second is byline by Amit. We have not been given that it is for school magazine, so we are not going to write the designation here. Then third one is the place, as we have been given in the very second line only, that the camp was organized in a slum at Ambala. So the place is there, and then date, right? So we can include today's date also. Now comes the first 3 lines, the title, the byline and date and place. These make the format, and the format is of 1 mark. So while writing these 3 things, you can be sure that you will definitely get 1 mark. Okay, if the content is there. So the second paragraph starts: introduction. A free medical health checkup camp was set up in the Kapil Dev Stadium, Ambala, by the local NGO Health for All. Proper medical checkup for the ENT. ENT means ear, nose and throat. And heart ailments. Ailments means illness. Was carried out for the people of Ambala and nearby areas. The people suffering from common ailments were provided free prescriptions. So means we have been told in the first paragraph that the camp was organized there, the camp was set up there, and then in the camp the place is mentioned, what are the ailments that were taken care of, who has organized this camp, and what was the work done by the doctors or specialists there, right? So we have been given this much detail in the first paragraph, that is introduction. Now comes the second part, main points. Main points, as we discussed earlier, that it has to be written in two different paragraphs, paragraph number 2 and paragraph number 3. So we can see it here. In paragraph number 2, it is content portion. Volunteers of the Scouts from Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1, Ambala, Kent, took care of the registration process of the people who reported for health checkup. After noting down the weight, body temperature and blood pressure of every patient on the registration slip, they means the patients or the people who turned up there, they were sent to the respective doctors where they were diagnosed by the specialist doctors. So who were the specialist doctors? The doctors for ear, nose and throat and heart, right? So the sequence was there. The people entered into the camp. They were attended by the volunteers of Kendriya Vidyalaya, and then the body temperatures and the weight and blood pressure, these things are measured and written on a slip and then sent to the concerned specialist, where they were prescribed some medicines, okay, diagnosed, and then prescription was there. The third paragraph, again it is main points, part of content only, okay. Majority of the patients had common problems such as sore throat, breathing problems, back pain and nausea, which the people associated with ENTA or heart problems, heart ailments. Out of the 638 people who turned up for health checkup, only 153 were found to be moderate or chronically ill. These 153 were referred to the government hospitals for onward treatment. Means they wanted some sort of surgery or treatment to be carried out for a longer period. I'm sorry. So only those who required some sort of treatment were referred to the government hospital there. Now the conclusion must contain suggestions or the closing. People were advised to do simple physical activities on regular basis or simple yoga or stretching exercises to get rid of the back pain and breathing problems. Such health checkup camps are examples of how the poor and the needy of the society can be served effectively. We have been provided with an example how to take care of the people in slum areas or the people who need some help, right? It is not necessary that we need to be very rich in order to help someone. When you want to help, what are the things that are required? It is the willingness and enthusiasm that comes out from within that encourages you to work for the betterment of others. So this is how you can write, okay, a report. Then comes recapitulation, recap. So these are the main points that we have already discussed. You can, we will be sharing this. You can obviously go through these points, right? Now comes the questions where you are supposed to answer me. What are the points included in the format? Okay, the time is there for you. You can think about it. If you are able to answer, means you have heard this patiently and you have understood the topic. Otherwise, you can check for the answers. It includes the title, byline, place and date. Okay, these are the things that are included in the format. Okay, then which tense is commonly used in report writing? It is very simple. Generally we use past indefinite tense. How many marks have been assigned for report writing? So in the bifurcation part, we have already seen that it requires or it is assigned, the report writing is assigned 10 marks. Now, homework time. As the cultural secretary of your school, write a report on the celebrations of Republic Day in your school in about 150 to 200 words. So in this question, while writing the byline, you will write your name and comma, then your designation. The designation is cultural secretary. Okay. because it is given there in the question itself. So we will be using the information that is available in the question. Okay, so you need to think about the ideas that might have taken place. um, okay, the entire sequence means the audience came, the students came and assembled in the ground. Then the the stage was decorated effectively, properly. Then they were waiting for the chief guest. After the arrival of the chief guest, the ceremonies started, which are the cultural events, cultural programs that were performed there, and the speech, and what was the emphasis of that speech, and the closing of that Republic Day celebration with the sweet distribution. So all these points you need to include. Okay, the second question comes. The Times of India recently organized a workshop on improving the reading skills among the school students. Um because it is growing trend nowadays that we prefer to read um, on mobile phones or tablets or Kindle, right? So Times of India, they have organized some workshop in your school. Now, as the literary captain of your school, you are supposed to write a report in about 150 words to 200 words uh, on the workshop. Okay, uh, so this is very simple. So these two simple questions are there for homework. Okay, thank you very much.